Welcome back to the Sword of Truth podcast, the alcohol-fueled, chapter-by-chapter reread of the Sword of Truth series with a river of craft brew on the side. I'm Jade.
And I'm Nate, and on this episode, we are getting into part 1 of chapter 66 of Stone of Tears. Sorry,
yes.
Stone of Tears.
Yeah, and you say part 1 because it's a long fucking chapter with a lot of shit in it.
It's so much. Like, we have easily twice the amount of notes for this chapter that we have had for almost any other chapter in the book.
Yeah.
Very rarely do we touch 30, and for this one, we have like 50.
Yeah, we have a maximum amount that we try to shoot for, so we can, like, time this out correctly, and this is way over that. So there's no way.
Yeah, so instead of, like, giving you guys a late episode, which we know doesn't fly, we decided that we're just going to cut it in half. That way we can record it and edit it, get it out on time. And then on Monday, we'll have the remainder of it. That way we can give it its due diligence because, like Jade said, there's a lot that goes on in this chapter. And the episodes can come out when you guys expect them to.
We are getting close to the climax, people.
We are right there. That's always the best part. The part, just before the end.
Yeah. Sometimes you want to sit there for a while.
Well, before we get into this chapter, we wanted to mention one more time that the Children of Dahara novel is right now available for pre-order. You can order those Barnes & Noble, Amazon, or any of your favorite indie bookstores. I highly, highly recommend you do that because Jade and I have a copy here, and it's just, you guys, it's such a nice looking book. I know we've said that before, but just, it's pleasing to look at.
Yeah, and feel in your hands, and
it's heavy too.
And it's the last one. So, I mean, I think it's a nice, like, final piece sitting up there.
Definitely.
At the end. So, get you one.
All right. Well, I think that does it for housekeeping.
Mm-hmm.
Let's get into this bad boy. So, after Richard's eventful time in the woods, he's heading over the bridge to the palace, and he sees a giant group of people. Pasha is with them. She is overjoyed that he's alive, and when he's like, why? It makes it look to me like Pasha knew what was going to happen in the woods. So, like, oh, you're alive after this thing. It's like, why? Did you expect me to be dead? Because I just had a battle.
I think it was because she thought it was him in the water.
Yes. Richard looks over the side and he sees a body in his red jacket.
Yes.
Floating in the water.
Which was in the vision thing he saw in the tower.
Yeah, that's what we saw way early on in the book. And so when he gets the jacket, you're like, oh, no. But it wasn't him. And it's funny because we talked about what if it was a mistake.
Yeah.
What if it wasn't for sure? And they're like, no, it's for sure. No, it wasn't. It was Perry. It was just the red coat.
Yeah, because he never saw his face.
Right, exactly.
So men are hauling Perry's dead body out of the water, and once he gets up on shore, Richard notices there's a small dagger wound in his back. He was definitely stabbed by a sister.
Yeah, nobody else has those weapons, so it's pretty clear that they're the ones who did this.
Yeah, one of them at least.
So, like, all the sisters are just coming loose right now.
Yeah, nobody can trust.
Nobody's safe here. Richard realizes that he broke Wizard's second rule again by trying to do a nice thing and loan Perry the coat. The Dakra was obviously meant for him. I mean, something has, but someone is now hunting him.
Yeah.
And the fact that a sister murdered him in cold blood like this isn't really mentioned in the book.
Like, that everybody around them doesn't seem concerned yet that this is going on. And I mean, I know he leaves fairly quickly after this, but nobody's like, that's like a wound from the sisters, so it's bad, right? Should we call the police?
Look, I'm just assuming Perry can't fly. So, had somebody shoved Perry over this, like, embankment, right? Then they'd be like, oh, he fell.
Right.
Oops. But no, he was stabbed very clearly. Because there's a hole in him.
In his back. And he's probably bleeding still, because this is a fresh wound.
I mean, it must have happened within the time Richard left for the woods.
Yeah. And if nobody else notices the wound, okay? If Richard is the only person who notices it, it's just funny that he doesn't mention it to anybody before he leaves. Like, there's...
Hey, this person was stabbed?
Yeah, this was a murder. He didn't, like, jump into the water as a suicide or anything.
I mean, it was thrown in there, and I mean, it sucks for Perry, because we like Perry. He's our favorite little frog chucker, and it just... I don't know. It went over. Like, there's no consequences for that. It was just a thing that happened. Now, granted, there's a lot going on in this chapter, so maybe somebody is eventually going to get around to it, but we don't see the reaction right away.
Yeah, and we know the townspeople and the guards aren't really Richard's priority right now. Like, he's sad Perry's dead. That sucks. But he's got other shit to do. So he can't really, I guess, be involved in a murder investigation that may actually have gone on. We just weren't privy to it. I just thought it was interesting that he was like, oh, I see evidence of the murder. I gotta go. Bye. So Richard tells Pasha he is leaving, and she tries to stop him and be like, you can't leave the palace. No. And he's like, no, I am. Bye. And once he gets back to his room, Verna appears at his door. Once he sees her face, he decides to ask what's wrong instead of chewing her out like he was planning on. Like, he was all raring to go, and he was like, oh shit, you're, like, real upset. She's been sobbing, like, all day, and she's like, I need a friend, and you're the only one I thought of, Richard. Which,
Oh, the guard's down. Damn it, Verna. I was so ready to yell at you. Shit. You got me. For a second, Richard thinks of his conditions of friendship, but he now knows that she can't remove the collar, even if she wanted to. So, like, this is probably an authentic showing of, hey, I want to be your friend.
Right, and I think it makes him realize that he could choose to be her friend now, even if she couldn't get the collar off or wouldn't get the collar off because of that. Like, maybe he shouldn't withhold his friendship because of that.
Yeah, I think so. And I mean, okay, so here's something else that we had talked about. We were questioning why he was able to turn the Sword of Truth white when he killed Liliana, like, in an instant. Like, because he killed her with love, in a way. But Al actually saved us. This is just the first of two on our last episode. When he was like, yeah, the first time it's really, really bad. The second time it's, kind of whatever. And then you get used to it as time goes on. So, yes, that's exactly what it was. He's just able to do this quickly now. It's not much of an effort required on his part.
Yeah, it's not like soul ripping, apparently, every time he does it.
An ability he learned how to do, and, now he can do it.
Now he
can just do it.
It's like a muscle strength thing. Like, he's strong now in the muscle.
And so, if he would be able to forgive Liliana, in essence, then he would probably feel the same way about Verna.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just in the way that, like, if he can bring himself to forgive Liliana that quick, he could probably take a pass on being super mad at Verna now.
Even if he like lets himself give in to it.
Not that he's gonna kill her. Just
Okay, I was like, what?
Where are you going with this, Nate? And as it turns out, she wants to. Well, wants to try, anyway, since she has more power than literally any other normal sister there. Normal sister, because we know some of them have augmented power, but like we talked about in the last episode, they're not going to help.
Right. And I think that there's a lot of stuff that goes into Verna doing this right now and deciding that she's just going to do it. Because, number one, she wants his friendship, okay? That's like, she's having a bad day. So, But also everything the Prelate told her, like, she knows he shouldn't be in the collar. So, she's willing to do this now, because fuck that.
Well, at the beginning of this book, Verna was very beholden to all of these beliefs and the rules, and then throughout the process of just dealing with Richard, which is saying something, that was bent a little bit. And now it's like, okay, just because you're, and I know it's not quite religious, but it kind of is, right? Serving the Creator.
Yeah, no, it is.
Just because this religion believes a certain way and they do things a certain way doesn't necessarily make it right.
Well, and especially when the higher-ups are also bending rules and breaking promises and truces that have held for hundreds of years. Yeah, you start to be like, fuck the rules a little bit, like, whatever.
He considers, though, that maybe Nathan was wrong. Verna mentions there will be pain, of course, and he says that, oh, but yeah, of course, there's going to be pain. Why am I not surprised?
Yeah.
I think was the exact quote.
Yeah, you guys like that pain stuff.
But then she surprises him by saying that she will actually be the one dealing with it, not him. The subtractive magic will fight with her, and it's not going to hurt him.
Yeah, because the subtractive magic is just going to, like, attack her because it's his magic, and it's going to, like, perceive her as a threat, I think.
Well, she's going in with just additive magic, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, literally, the thing that everybody else in the palace has said to Richard up until this point was, I don't have subtractive, so I can't.
Mm-hmm.
This must be the reason why I can't.
Yeah.
But Verna is just willing to risk it anyways.
Yeah.
She puts her hands on his collar, and he braces in case she hurts him. So he's like allowing her to do this thing because he doesn't have any other choice, really.
And he trusts her, but, like...
Even though the last person that he literally trusted doing this did try to kill him. Now he's got to do it again, like back to back. The thing with me is that, I don't know, I think I would trust Verna more than Liliana just because we traveled together. We've had all this back and forth that, like, we saw in the book makes you want to go, no, idiot. Obviously, you should trust Verna.
Yeah.
She's a harsh woman, but, like, she's good.
She's come and only dropped truths to you.
Yeah.
Like, she's only ever tried to help you, even though it hasn't always been the way you wanted. I get why he grabbed the sword and was all, like, ready to fuck her up if she tried to hurt him. But I was a little bit upset about it because I was like, you didn't do that for Liliana, and I trust Verna way more. She does not deserve that.
It's like slapping the bull. He's aware now.
Yeah. But Verna doesn't deserve it.
No, she really doesn't. And to prove that point, all Richard feels is a pleasant tingle as Verna moans in pain and just, it makes me so uncomfortable. And then the room gets torn the fuck apart by power of her Han. Richard finally pulls her hands away and she apologizes that it didn't work. He tells her, hey, I know you tried. I appreciate it. You did your best. And, like, we're cool now. Thank you for trying. That's all I fucking wanted in the first place. The second it was on, take it off.
Just prove that you want to be my friend and you don't want me to be locked in a chain.
Right.
Like, it doesn't have to work. You just have to be like, yeah, man, I would totally get you out if I could. And I would have been on your side this whole time.
Right. So much easier. So, of course, after this, they have a moment together. They hug. It's nice. It's nice, right?
Yeah, it's nice.
She tells him, though, that he needs to leave. She tells him that there are Sisters of the Dark in the palace and tells him what they are. He says, what? Like, I don't know. Okay, he does figure it out in about 2 seconds.
Yeah.
But just that he asked the question, like, no, you just got attacked, and now she's telling you that there's evil sisters at the palace.
They're Sisters of the Light.
Self-explanatory, right?
Especially the whole dark, like, when the lady died, it went dark for a minute. So,
yeah,
like,
it was fucking scary.
Scary.
We're Sisters of the Light, obviously, the good guys, and, well, there's bad guys.
Yeah.
We just live together. Don't know why, but that's the way it is. They decided not to get their own evil lair. They hang out here. So, he says he believes her because he killed Liliana tonight. She tried to kill me. She's evil. This is what I was referring to like 30 seconds ago. But, like, wouldn't he be covered in blood?
Yeah.
He, like, chopped her up good, right?
Yeah, she was, like, standing over him when he stabbed her in the middle. He separated her spine over the top of him.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, he'd be drowning in it.
His whole body, all of his clothes.
You know what he did? He pulled a Dexter. He's like, just a second. Got himself all wrapped up in the plastic.
Yeah.
Okay, go.
Or he jumped in the river in front of all the people that were standing there by the other murder and washed